Okay. 2.3 absolute value equations. Okay. All right, so we're going to just start with a little definition. Okay. Absolute value is defined as the distance from 0. Okay. Distance. Distance is a positive outcome. It has to be a positive outcome. So we're going to do a little example. Okay, we're just going to do absolute value of x equals 3. And I only see the x variable, so I'm only going to draw the x number line. When we're graphing and you have x's and y's, we draw the x and the y number line, which is what gives you a two-dimensional graph. If you only have x, it's just one number line. That's it, just x. Okay. Now, this is the distance from 0. So I'm going to write a sentence here. The set of x values whose distance from is the distance is 3. This number here on the other side of the equals is the number that is representing the distance when you have absolute value here. And so this is the distance from 0 is 3. So here's 0 on my number line. And I want to represent all the things that have 3 as its distance. Okay, that's 3. 1 dot has a distance of 3. Can anyone else tell me where to put any other dots? Wow, I see all these hands. Eve. -3, yes. 1, 2, 3. -3, because the distance is still 3. Notice it's actually the distance from what appears to be the center. Okay, 0 just happens to be in the middle right now. Okay, keep in mind here that we have a +3 direction right to the right of the center, and we also have a -3. See how the distance has a positive direction and a negative direction. So we're going to use that when we set this up algebraically. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is isolate the absolute value, because that's the piece right here that is left alone, and then the distance is on the other side. So when I'm isolating the absolute value, I'm actually identifying the distance. Okay, the distance, this is not a smiley face, it's a D. Okay, is the number. I am identifying the distance. Equals 3 equals distance. It's the number. Whatever is on the other side of the equals is the distance. Okay, and then I have a little thinking cloud. Once you identify the distance, you're going to have to think. Yes, no, maybe. It's going to be a question that you're going to answer, because we're going to think about what we're doing before we do it. 2. Okay, once I isolate my absolute value and identify my distance and think about it for just a second, then I'm going to split the absolute value. Absolute value equation. All right, so when I split my absolute value, you are erasing the absolute value bars, okay? And you're exchanging for parentheses, or right, just normal grouping symbols. How do I split it? Well, turns out, look at my little chart, we have to have one side for the negative distance, not a wink, negative distance. One side for the positive distance, because you have 2 potential answers. Because when you count distance, it's more of like the magnitude, which is a positive number. And so we have to count to the left on my number line and the right. Yes? Oh, no, sorry. That's just me splitting it into 2 places. That's it. This is not really a graph. That's literally just taking from one equation, splitting it into 2 pieces. Okay, so let's look at what happens algebraically. Okay. Examples. All right, there's our first example. I'm going to keep my steps here. Isolate absolute value. Okay. There's the absolute value. That's the thing you need by itself. Because whatever is on the other side is the distance. So I need to isolate this so I can determine what the distance is. So first thing I'm working on is isolate. Equals 3. Okay. Distance equals 3. Boop, boop, boop. Thinking cloud. Can distance, I'll scoot it up a little. I got you. Can distance equal 3? Yes. Yes. Distance equals 3. That's a good thing. Positive number. That means that you got to keep going to step number 2. Split and solve. Split And solve. Okay, so, right, the V is just me splitting it into two parts. One is going to be for the -3, and the other is for the +3. Notice what's changing signs. Not the thing inside the absolute value when the bars disappear, just the distance number. That's the only thing that's changing when I split this. And solve. That's my answer. That's it. Example 2. Number 2. All right. Absolute value. Notice how my absolute value bars are much taller than my numbers, so they don't look like a 12 or a 61. All right, solve for x. So I'm just gonna, okay, that's just me looking for the absolute value. Because the absolute value is distance, so there's possibly two answers, one on either side of the center. So the first thing I'm doing is isolating. And then I'm thinking. Can distance be 12? Yes, it can. All right, that means continue. Example number 3. Yeah, it's a good question, and that's the last example we're going to do today, is what happens when we say no. Split and solve. Okay, so split. So one of these I need the -12. The other one I need the +12. Okay, that is the only thing that is changing. Not the stuff inside of the absolute value, it's the number on the other side. Yes, Sasha. No, I usually go numerical order, but no, it doesn't matter. All right, let's do it. Okay, so I get -9. Okay. All right, and so those are my answers. I'm going to just display them on a number line here. -9 dot. It's just a single point. Just a single dot, that's all. Okay, so you see how there's an equals? That's an included dot. When we finish 2.4, we will also discuss open dots. So my answer is just -9 and 3. I usually put them in numerical order, but it doesn't actually matter. Okay. You guys ready? Yes? No. I'm pretty sure in Delta Math you're gonna just type the number, and when you press enter, it's gonna look like this in the curly braces. Okay. Improv math. Ready? Give me an even number that's negative. -6. Okay. Give me an odd number that's negative. I heard 5 first. Okay, positive number more than 10. Oh, okay, hold on. Good, good. Now I need, all right, we can do this. Positive number that is odd more than 20.
21.
Hold on, I'm thinking. Nope, I like 23. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, improv math. Solve. Let's go. I already know the answer. That's right. I actually do make up most of these while I'm sitting here. Just solve them in my head as you guys are thinking. Okay, isolate.
Oh, I see why you like 23.
Yeah, see? Sometimes being a teacher is fun. Okay. Alright, so I'm isolating. Working on that PEMDAS. Okay, so that cancels right there. And we end up with thinking bubble. Can distance be -2? No. Okay, question, Sydney?
So to isolate, you would first do the number outside of the.
Okay, so to isolate, which is a form of solving, you do your PEMDAS backwards, which is why first we subtracted and then we divided. Yeah, good question. Yes.
Why is it no?
Can you walk -2 miles? No. A distance that is negative is not possible.
So it's only yes when it's positive.
Yes. Okay, so can distance be negative? No. So that means no solution. Okay, no solution looks like this. It's literally the braces that are empty. So in Delta Math, you enter nothing. And it looks like this. It's called the empty set, which is no answer. I do not expect you to solve past this. Right here, done. Cut it off. Do not do unnecessary algebra. Okay, hold on. I see lots of questions. We'll start in the back.
Can you still after that?
You can, but it's tedious and unnecessary and a waste of time. I don't like to waste time. I like you to think about your work before you unnecessarily waste half a page doing stuff. Yes.
So I solved both of them. Like I said, x minus y equals -2, and it could also equal +2. And I got two distances, and they weren't negative. So
No. Okay, so good question. We are not done talking about what happens with that, so we will come up with this again. Okay? Yes?
how does it have a maybe?
Maybe is example 4 for next time. Yes. Okay. So I do have. You can pack up. That's good. I will answer your question now because I've got 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna put a stop sign. Okay, stop. Because that's what you should do when you recognize this. But let's say I felt like being excessive. Keep in mind that x is not the distance, negative 2 is the distance first. Okay, so we get 3 and 7. Okay. Check. What's the absolute value of negative 2?
2. Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a random person. And then,
Tedious amount of work because you already know it's not going to happen because anything that comes out of absolute value will be positive. Anything that the outcome here will be positive. So automatically, not going to work. Which is why do this if you already can think 2 steps ahead that it's not gonna happen? Yes. And then it just gets kind of yucky. It's easier to be like, no, I know this is gonna happen. Don't do the extra work because sometimes you just get confused with it. Good question though, yeah.
Also, regarding SIS, did it ever load?
Slowly.